Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really just know you.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Becca G. I'm all about my faith, my fitness, and my life. So you're gonna hear me talk about God here, you're gonna hear me talk about my fitness journey, and you're gonna hear me talk about my life. Now, my life is very peaceful, so it's not a lot of drama, it's not a lot of tea. And any tea that you do get on this channel will be testimony, because God took my tea, what some would consider tea, and he turned it into my testimony. So you'll definitely get a lot of that. But today is my third week post-op. Today we're talking about my lipo. If you watched my last video, it was my journey through the lipo. So 7 days pre-op, 6 days pre-op, so on and so forth. I even did up to 2 weeks post-op. There's still some swelling, of course, because the swelling doesn't go down till about 6 weeks, like the initial swelling. Then around 6 months, most of the swelling has dissipated. And around a year, you'll see your real results if you continue to eat healthy and work out. Lipo is not a one and done situation where you get it and you just stay that size. No, you have to keep working towards the body like you would with anything else. But since I have about 30 minutes before my next meeting, I figured I might as well answer some questions that you guys have had. So one of the questions that I got was, what was the process like? So the process, I found a doctor. So my best friend referred me to this plastic surgeon, Dr. Shanklin, at Smart Plastic Surgery. Unfortunately, Dr. Shanklin did not perform my surgery because last minute Smart Plastic Surgery decided to change my doctor the day of my pre-op, and because I had to fly from Texas to Miami in order to get my surgery, I didn't really have time to argue, and I'm not a very argumentative person. If you notice, like even in my comment section, when people say rude things, I don't answer back with rudeness because that's just not who I am. I've never been someone who likes confrontation, so I just avoid it. I meet it with kindness because clearly you're miserable, because why are you picking on me? But yeah. So I ended up having can't even tell you his name. I think it was Dr. Pittman. Dr. Pittman. He was kind when I met him. So there are things you have to do to prepare your body for the surgery. So I had to take vitamin C, I had to take iron, I had to take folic acid every day, 60 days prior to my surgery. So from the 60th day pre-op to the day of surgery, I had to take that because it keeps your iron levels high. I had to make sure that I was doing what they told me to do. I had to eat right. I had to make sure I lost the weight that I was supposed to lose. When I booked the surgery, I was 231. I had to be 230 in order to have the surgery. Sorry, my bad. I was 231. I had to be 203 in order to have the surgery done because of my height. I'm 4'11 and a half, but on a good day, I'm 5 feet. So I had to be 203 in order to have the surgery done, which would make my BMI around 39. So I had to work out. I had to eat right. I had to make sure I was drinking enough water. I had to make sure I was giving my body all the things that it needs prior to my surgery, because if you don't take the right steps and you don't eat right and you don't get rest and you don't take the vitamins they tell you to take, you can put yourself at risk. And I'm already a person who has like other health issues. I didn't want to put myself at risk to make my husband a widow. He will not survive without me. So that was the process. I booked my date. I followed the instructions. I lost my weight. I did what they told me to do. Another question I received was, would I recommend that plastic surgeon or that facility? The answer is no. My experience was a 2 out of 10, and I'm only giving it 2 because my pre-surgery coordinator was amazing. Shout out to Kristen, because she was amazing. She did an amazing job with making me feel comfortable. Now, let's talk about when I got there. I met my doctor the day before my surgery, and it was not the doctor I had booked with. No one told me prior to me getting there that it would be a different doctor. So that was a little off-putting, and then he was only with me for 30 seconds, and then he said I should have got a BBL too, and I felt like, are you saying my booty is small? Because it's not. My back is just big. Once you get rid of this back fat, we'll be fine. But he was a sweet guy, but he wasn't who I asked for. My problem with that is I didn't have enough time to research him before my surgery, and because it was a day before my surgery, I did not have time to research him and at all. Like with Dr. Shanklin, I did my research. He came referred. He came recommended. I've seen my best friend's body. It's very much tea. So I was like, if I'm going to book with anybody, I'm going to book with him. I was upset that they changed my doctor. So that was the other thing that bothered me. Was I told them that I was on my cycle and I did not feel comfortable removing my underwear because I'm on my cycle. Like, you want me to bleed from my no-no bits while you're sucking fat out of me? I don't want that. I don't want my coochie exposed while I'm bleeding from it. They told me they were out of disposable underwear. And I felt like, how are you guys a surgery center and y'all don't have all the supplies? That was red flag 2. Red flag 3. My weight was not at goal. I was about 12 pounds over the goal weight. And when I saw my paper, like, you have to sign the paperwork before you go into surgery the day of. When I signed my paper, I noticed that the weight was wrong. And when I brought it up to the nurse, she said, don't worry about that. We'll fix that after. Again, another red flag. But did I listen to my intuition? Did I listen to my discernment? No, because I had already taken the time off. I had already paid all this money. I had already flew out here. My family already knows that I'm getting the surgery done. My husband said if I come back home without the surgery, he's going to punch me in the head because he had to take time off for it too. So it was being done. And let me just say, I do not promote violence. My husband does not punch me in the head. It's just a turn of phrase. I am not in a domestic violence relationship. He is the sweetest man I know. If anything, I beat him. But YouTube, don't block me. Another question I got was, what was the post-op care like? That was another red flag with them. I woke up probably an hour after my surgery, and 30 minutes after that, they put me in a wheelchair, wheeled me downstairs, and then threw me in my car. They did not give me any of the paperwork that I signed, and that was a major red flag for me because what are you hiding? So the next day I went for my post-op checkup, and they didn't open my incisions and drain me. So something that you will learn, some surgery centers do not give you drainage bags if you get liposuction. They only give you drainage bags for tummy tucks, BBLs. That's some surgery centers. Now, some surgeons don't play that. They give you a drainage bag day one. But if they don't give you a drainage bag, when you go back for your post-op appointment, what they're supposed to do is reopen those incisions if they started closing and drain you. Because what happened to me is the fluid stayed in my midsection for so long that I was in excruciating pain, and I thought it was just pain from the surgery. But when I went on day 4, because the pain would not go away, I was out of medication. They said this pain was only supposed to last 5 days, and then it would just be like, sore and sensitive. No, I was in pain, like could not walk, could not move. When I went back on day 4, they reopened my incisions and they drained me. And the lady said that your massage therapist is supposed to drain you. So my auntie is a massage therapist. My auntie is a licensed master, whatever. she's a master something, like esthetician or something like. She got all the certificates basically. She been doing this in 2008. That's 16, 17 years in the game. My auntie know what she doing. And then my auntie has also had plastic surgery, so she knows what to do. They try to throw that on my auntie, talking about it's her fault that I was not drained. But I called my homegirl, who's a nurse and a massage therapist. And she said, legally, a massage therapist is not supposed to open any incisions to drain you because it can cause bacteria. And then you'll sue that massage therapist when they're not in that, it's not within their scope of support. She said, because she's a nurse, she can drain me and it wouldn't be a problem because she has the right tools. My auntie was not going to open me up and drain nothing. So they reopened me and they drained me. That's what all the blood is in the last video. That's from them draining me on day 4. Now, imagine me walking around with that amount of fluid in my body. What else happened? That, you know, a lot of people don't talk about the horror stories of plastic surgery. They only talk about the good parts. They only talk about, oh, my body T. Oh, I love my results. Oh, this, and that. And that's great. But I feel like people need to start being honest. So I developed what is called post-surgery seromas. Now, most people get these lumps after surgery if they don't get their massages, if they're not drinking enough water, if all these reasons. But mine was abnormally large. So I did go to the hospital because I was starting to get concerned. Not only were they large, but they were hurting. When I looked it up, if the surgeon does not do a correct job of removing the fat, or if they are too rough when removing the fat, what happens is sometimes some of the fat stays in that was supposed to be removed, or what happens is the fat that was disturbed and not removed properly will turn into a seroma. Once it turns into a seroma, you have to get it drained or have to try to drain it naturally through lymphatic massages. I'm not reading that right now. Through lymphatic massages, or a surgeon has to drain it. So at this time, I'm waiting to see a plastic surgeon so they can put a needle in my skin and drain my seromas, because it's causing me to not get the results I want because the doctor did not do his job correctly. What I also learned with a lot of these surgery centers, I'm not saying Smart did it, but when I walked in, when the anesthesiologist took me in, it had a woman in there and he said, this will be your nurse. She will be assisting with your surgery. What I learned is a lot of times these surgeons do not actually perform the work and they allow the tech to do it. So if a tech is doing your work on you, a tech is not a surgeon. They don't have the same level of training. They don't have the same level of expertise. So oftentimes they don't do the same job. So I'm not saying that's what happened with me, because again, they have not given me back my paperwork that I signed, which is a major red flag for me. But we're not going to talk about that right now, because if I go into litigation, there's certain things that I can't say. But yeah, what you need to know as far as getting surgery and as far as going through the plastic surgery process, whether it's lipo, a tummy tuck, a BBL, is you need to have a support system or have enough money to hire somebody to be your support system, because it's not an easy journey. If you have money for a recovery house, I would say get a recovery house that has nursing staff on hand, that provides meals, that, provides massages. Get a recovery house that takes care of you. Read the reviews, because some of these recovery houses are just CNAs opening up houses or purchasing houses or renting houses and turning them into recovery houses without the right certification. So make sure you do your research before booking a recovery house. But if you do not have a support system, or money to purchase a support system, I would not recommend getting this type of surgery, because you will need someone to change you. You will need someone to bathe you. You will need someone to make sure your incisions aren't getting infected. I could not bathe by myself up until last week. And I had my surgery 3 weeks ago. The first week, my sister-in-law and my sister gave me backs. And the second week, my husband solely was my sole caretaker because we're back home in Houston. And this week I've taken the reins myself. Like, I get in the shower and I bathe myself. The thing is, I cannot wipe like below my waist. I can't bend because I'm still sore. So you need a support. That's why I say you need a support system. You cannot do this on your own. Another thing I would also say, well, people also asked was, does BMI matter? BMI is critical. Do not go to a doctor that's willing to operate on you if your BMI is over 39, because they just want to make money. If your BMI is over a 39, I would not recommend any surgery but the gastric bypass surgery or the gastric sleeve. Because if your BMI is over 39 and you get this operation, you put yourself at risk for very serious health complications. You could possibly be unalived on the table because you're not at the right weight for this surgery. Not only that, but you won't see the results that you're looking for, that you're hoping for, because you're too big. Like, your BMI is not going to go from a 45 to 39 because you get the surgery. Lipo only removes 11 to 15 pounds of fat. A lot of people don't know that, but lipo only removes 11 to 15 pounds of fat. So if you're looking for a drastic weight loss change, I would definitely recommend the gastric sleeve. I lost 50 pounds on my own, so I was okay with getting lipo instead of getting the gastric sleeve. I also did not want to be super small, because the gastric sleeve, you can't really control how much weight you lose because you took away 80% of your stomach. So you're going to just lose the weight rapidly. I did not want to be slim. I have never been slim in my entire life. Even when I was a smaller girl, I was still a thick girl. If I was slim, I was slim thick. I was never a girl where I was super skinny, super slim. No, I've always been a thicker girl, and I like the way my body looks. I have really large upper, what I can't say it on YouTube because I don't want to get blocked, but I got really big V's, I got really wide hips, I got really big thighs. I've always been a thicker girl, so I did not want to be a super slim girl. I just wanted my back to be smaller, my waist to be smaller. That was it. That's why when people are in my comments and they're like, oh, I don't see the difference. Oh, you wasted your money. Oh, you should have did this, and that. I appreciate your opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. It's like a booty hole. We all got them. I appreciate your input. But let me clarify. I am not you and you are not me. I did not want to look like the Instagram baddies. I wanted to look like Hannah Rebecca Scott. I wanted to look like Becca G. I did not want to go from the thick girl that I've always been, the plus size girly that I've always been, to being super slim, because that can cause body dysmorphia. And as someone who's been bigger than I am now, sometimes I look in the mirror and I have body dysmorphia. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, nothing worked. Why do I look so big? Why my back looks so big? Why my stomach look like that? And that's what I'm seeing. But people who haven't seen me in a while, like my family, when they see me, they say, damn, Becky, you're disappearing. Damn, Becky, you're getting so small. But I don't see it. So as someone who's always been a thicker girl, I didn't want to get lipo to be someone that was super slim. So when I see the comments that are like, oh, you should have got gastric so you could actually see results, I just wanted a smaller back and a smaller waist, babe. My goal is not your goal. That's why sometimes it's okay to just watch someone's video, and if you don't agree with it, keep it moving instead of giving your unwarranted opinion. But that's besides the point. Back to the questions that y'all asked me. Someone asked me, how do they lose weight? And I'm going to tell you what I did for me, what other people in fitness will tell you. Eat more protein, drink more water, eat less carbs, move your body. Semaglutide is great. Ozempic is great. Mounjaro is great. Trulicity is great. But the problem with phentermine is great. But the problem with all of these things is that they're temporary solutions for a permanent problem. Your back did not get big from you eating salads all day. Your back did not get big in 2-3 months. Your back got big progressively over time because you didn't take care of the temple that God gave you. And I can say that because I'm someone who did not take care of my temple. I didn't care about what I put in my body. As long as it tasted good, I was going to eat it. And I'm a chef, so as long as I could cook it, I'm going to eat it. And I was eating big back meals every day. It got me all the way up to 260 pounds. And like I said, I am 4'11 and a half. Where is 260 pounds going on me? I was severely unhealthy. I had sleep apnea. I literally died. Like, all jokes aside, I literally died. November 17, 2023, my heart stopped in my sleep for so long that my husband had to revive me. I literally died. And when I went to the hospital, you know what the doctor said? If you don't unbig your back, you won't live to see next year. And I said, you know what? Let me get myself together. So I've been on this journey, this fitness journey, since November 2023. Now, did I fall off in 2024 when I went through a small bout with depression? Of course. But I got back on the horse and I kept riding, and I went from being 252 pounds to being 200, and I think I weigh in at like 209 now. I did the work. If you want to lose the weight, you have to do the work. There is no overnight solution. It took you 30 years to grow your back to that size. It's going to take you about 30 months to reduce it. And that's okay. The problem with this generation is we're so used to everything being at our fingertips so easily that we don't understand work ethic, and we don't want to work towards anything. We don't want to work towards a goal. We just want it handed to us. But just like God, nothing is... Just like with God, we expect a microwavable God. Like, we say a prayer today and we expect it to move today. But we forget that 40 years to us is a minute to him. He just went to pee. And our life has been in turmoil for the last decade. And he was just peeing up there. But we expect him to move on our time when we're not spiritually mature for what he has for us. But that's not this type of video. But I'm just saying, your fitness is the same. Anything worth having takes time. You're not going to get it overnight. My husband, worth having. It took 10 years before we decided to date. And we dated for 6 months before we got engaged. Got married 4 months after that. Because we had known each other for 10 years. It was 10 years of getting to know somebody as their friend with no strings attached, no benefits. I was just his friend. Granted, I was madly in love with the man, like delusional in my head, like I'm going to marry this man one day. And so said, so done. Okay? But that's another story for another day. If you want to lose the weight, you have to put in the work, because no one's going to do it for you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to rescue you. No one's coming to tell you that you need to lose weight. No one's coming to fix what's broken inside of you. That's up to you. And when people start taking accountability for how their causes, how their actions led to their effects, cause and effect, it's a law. It's literally a law of nature. Your actions led to this effect. You eating after 9 p.m. and then going to sleep immediately after led to this effect. You drinking Hennessy instead of water led to this effect. You not taking care of your body because you had a fast metabolism in high school and now you're 32 and you can't lose weight led to this effect. You neglecting yourself and you neglecting your body is what led to your back being big. So when y'all ask me, what do I need to do to lose weight? And I tell you guys stuff like, do cardio, eat more protein, drink more water. It's not going to melt off overnight, because naturally you're only supposed to lose 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week for it to be considered healthy in the eyes of your doctor. But some people are going to lose more than 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week because they have more water weight. So you're going to see that weight come off a lot quicker when you have a lot of water weight. So to my bigger girls who see that they're losing 20, 30 pounds in a month and they're like, oh, well, sis, I lost 30 pounds in a month. I love that for you. But that's a water weight. And once that water weight is off, it's going to become stagnant. So you need to have the right expectations that, yes, you're going to lose the weight, but it's a process. It does not happen overnight. It did not take you 2 days to gain all that weight that you put on. It did not take you, 2 months to go ahead and have a big back. It took you 2 years to go from a size 8 to a size 16, and that is okay. Sometimes we go through life. Sometimes life throws hurdles at us where food is the only comforter. And if that is happening to you, then you need to, you need to fix what's broken in you. I wasn't able to really give myself all of me and really put all of me into my fitness journey until I healed what was broken inside of me in order to prioritize Becky. You have to prioritize you in order to lose the weight. When you become your own priority and your life and your lifespan, because the only thing that being big gets you is high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease. And I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm just being authentic with y'all because I don't want to lie to y'all. I was on the brink of death. I was literally knocking on death's door and I was 28. When the doctor told me if I don't unbig my back, I'm going to die, that was my sign to lose weight. I don't want it to take something like that for you to decide this is your time to lose weight. But y'all be aggravating me, asking me how to do it, and I tell y'all how to do it, and y'all still decide to be big backs and then complain to me that you can't lose weight. Another question I received was, did it hurt? Now, it was surgery, so surgery does hurt. Now, granted, when they were performing the surgery, I didn't feel anything because I was under general anesthesia. You're most likely going to be put under general anesthesia when they perform the surgery, which puts you to sleep so you don't feel anything. When I woke up, I probably woke up like an hour after surgery. Still didn't feel anything. I just felt like soreness. The pain kicked in probably like 30 minutes after I woke up. So about an hour and a half after the surgery is when the pain kicked in. And it was like bone chilling pain. Like I had the shakes real bad because I was in so much pain. They prescribed me oxys, but you can't take oxys on an empty stomach. So they put me in the car. My husband was driving. He took me to Pollo so I could get something to eat. But I was in so much pain after the surgery, and because they had to put the tube down my throat in order to make sure I kept breathing during surgery, my entire throat was scratched up. Like my esophagus was scratched up. Everything was scratched up. So it hurt to eat, but I knew that I had to eat. So I ate a piece of chicken, took the oxy. That didn't work. Was still in pain. Was still crying. Yes, I cried because I was in a lot of pain. My husband almost cried because he's never seen me in that much pain. And that let me know, like, when it's time to have our baby and I'm crying in labor, he's going to be crying too because he doesn't like to see me in pain. So I had to take a second oxy, and that knocked me out. Like, that put me to sleep. I woke up when we pulled up in front of my mom's house, and my mom's house is probably like an hour away from where we were. And my sister-in-law met us outside, and she started to panic because the car was covered in blood. Like, the passenger seat that I was sitting in was covered in blood because my body was draining the fluids. Like, I have open incisions. Like, so I'm letting you know, like, if you have a car with like clot interior, you need to get the little pee pads that you put down for like elderly people or like dogs. You need to buy those. So what I had to buy, because I messed up my mom's mattress cover, I messed up her comforter, because I thought like the clothes that they put on me, like the robe that I had on and stuff, I thought that would like be okay. Like I wouldn't soak through that. But I soaked through it, messed up my mom's mattress, messed up her, well, not her mattress, but her mattress cover, her sheets. So we had to get the pee pads. we had to get diapers because my cycle was still on, but I couldn't wear any underwear that was too tight or constricting, so I had to get diapers. Had to get wipes, had to get gauze, had to get wound care supplies, because you have to change your dressings. You can't keep on the same dressings. So my sister-in-law was really good with taking care of me. That's why I said it's really important, if you plan on getting this type of surgery or any kind of plastic surgery, that you have a strong support system. Because if you don't have that, or you can afford to pay for a strong support system, because if you don't have that, this will not be an easy thing for you. Like, recovery will not be easy. Recovery, another question I received is, how is recovery going? I'm on my 3rd week post-op. Next week will be my 4th week post-op. Recovery has gotten a lot smoother. Like, I can move around, I'm cooking, I'm washing my clothes, I'm washing my own booty. Like, so I've progressed a lot. I can get myself out of bed in the morning. I can put on my own faja. So I've progressed a lot. I'm still swollen in a lot of areas, but really just like my midsection, like the bottom half, because like I said, I have seromas that need to be drained, because if they don't get drained, it can turn into like fibrosis and get harder. So I have to book an appointment with a plastic surgeon. But you have to make sure that you have proper aftercare after the surgery, because you're going to need it. Like, you're going to need to make sure, like, you're cleaning your wounds. You're going to need to make sure you're changing your dressings. You're going to need to make sure you're bathing regularly. So if you're a dirty girly who doesn't like to shower, this is not the type of surgery that you should have, because you need to bathe. You need to wash your bunta very regularly. Even if you can't shower twice a day, shower once a day and at least get wiped down the second time. Like, I was showering once a day and getting wiped down. I was getting wiped down in the morning, showering at night. Like, my sister-in-law, my husband, my sister, they were making sure I stayed clean, because those wounds smell bad if you don't clean them. And I'm not a person that likes to smell bad. Even as a bigger girl, I was never a funky girl. I've always been a clean girl. This is not a surgery you get if you're not a clean girl, because that's how you get infections. And I don't want any infections. Also, make sure you invest in a faja. Yes, they're going to give you a faja, but sometimes they be trying you and giving you a faja that's too big for you. So make sure you invest in a faja. If you get a faja that's too big for you, you can always take it to an alterator, and they can go ahead and bring it in for you and alterate the size. Or you can find out what size faja you're supposed to wear and buy a faja on Amazon. This faja that I have on right now was given to me by the surgical center, and it was 3 sizes too big. Yeah, they tried me. They gave me a 5X. I don't even wear a 5X in real life. I've never even gotten to a 2X in real life. So I had it taken in by one of my homegirls in Broward. She took it in for me, and it's now like, it fits me like a 2X, because my other faja that I also have that I purchased from Amazon is a 2X, and that fits me pretty tight. So, but I'm on the 3rd loop on that one. There's 4 loops on that one. I'm on the 3rd loop. So once I get to the 4th loop, then it's time to take that one in too. You have to make sure you're constantly either taking in your fajas. It's cheaper to take it in than it is to purchase a new one. So just take it in. Like, this one has to be taken in, because as you can see, it's on the last loop. So there's no more loops to go. And hold on, and it's not compressing as much as I would like it to. I have my foam board on, so, but it's still getting the job done, so I have no complaints. I think that was all the questions that people asked me. Like I said, it is imperative, if you are a thick mamas, that you lose the weight first and then get the surgery done. Any surgeon that is willing to operate on you with your BMI higher than 39 is someone you should be skeptic of, because If they operate on you at a BMI that's higher than 39, you're at risk for a lot of health conditions. You're at risk for a lot of like health problems as far as like dying on the table. And you're also at risk for not seeing the results that you want. Like, you can't have a BMI of 42, 43 and expect to have a flat stomach. That's not going to happen. You're going to have, you know, a lot of loose skin. You're going to have like a lot of, you know, at the bottom, like the little fupa is still going to be there. Like, it's not going to go away if you don't take the right steps prior to getting the surgery. So lose the weight first. Do what I told you to do. Like, I'm someone talking from experience. I used to be 260 pounds and I lost the weight first by doing what I told you to do. Cardio, drinking half of my body weight in water, and eating a lot of protein. And you don't have to run track to do cardio. Walk on the treadmill for an hour at like 2.5 miles an hour and break a sweat. If you're not breaking a sweat, you're not doing anything. I don't care what your watch tells you. If you're not breaking a sweat, you're not doing anything. I hope that this video was informative, and I hope that I answered all the questions that you guys have. Another question, hold on. Someone asked me is how much did I pay for my surgery? So it was $2,500 for my surgery. My aftercare came up to about $1,300 with the protein shakes that I had to purchase, the Ensure I had to purchase, the Boost, so my meals, my faja, all the supplies I had to buy, my massages, gas to and from where I had to go, my medication. The aftercare came up to about $1,300. So in total, I spent about $3,800 on my entire procedure and aftercare. There are some places where they, like, if you get the surgery, they have a recovery house you can go to that you'll probably pay around the same, if not a little more. But all in all, it was like less than $4,000. So that's the last question I believe people asked me. But yeah, I hope this video was informative. I hope that, you know, I was able to answer all the questions that you guys have. I hope that you were able to learn something and, you know, educate yourself on something. If you do decide to go do it, like, let me know. Like, DM me, send me a message. I want to see your results. I want to support you on your journey. If you don't have a support system, baby, I'll be your support system. I can't financially support you, but I can pray for you. You know, I can pray for you. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you tune in next time for my 4-week post-op video. And y'all have a great day. Stay blessed and beautiful.